Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today, in this deep dive, we're going to be covering the game's namesake, Arthur himself. So let's get to it. So, obviously, he's going to be your very first hero in the game. Notice how he's Arthur, not King Arthur. My hope is that we are actually going to get either the Caliburn, I think was the dragon's name, the Caliburn hybrid Arthur from the last the Crumcrotch battle, or we're gonna get a King Arthur legendary, because it's a shame that Arthur is just a rare and he's not that good. He's not that good. Sorry to burst your bubble, but he's not that good. So we're gonna dive into him regardless, because you're going to use him at the beginning of the game, and a lot of people are probably going to search for a video being like, is Arthur good? I should build him. He looks like he's so good. And at the beginning of the game, he feels so good. And he should be good, but he's not. So let's get at him. So the passives. So like rares, they only have 2 passives. Makes it easy to talk about. So his P1, when attacking, 100% chance to grant crit strike rate increase 3 to all bull favor allies. So that's the bull favor. That's like Lot and Gawain and Clementine. I think those are bull. So every time, but this is not every time. This is a cooldown of 3 though, and you can only get it down to a cooldown of 3. And then what's this? When attacking, 100% chance to crit rate increase 3 to all bull's favorite allies for 1 turn. Buff duration increase 1 turn. So any buff that bull allies have on them, although I don't think it's bull allies, I think it's just himself. So he's going to give himself a buff duration increase of 1 turn. Now, since these work in succession as read, it's going to do this. It's going to be 100% chance to grant crit strike rate increase 3 to hit him in the bulls. And then buff duration increase 3. So if you had this maxed to level 3, it would be crit strike rate increase 3 for 2 turns. And then he's going to buff himself, so it's going to be 3 turns. So since this is a 3-turn cooldown, if it's maxed, he's always going to have crit rate increase 3, which is the big one, all the time. So that's going to affect how we gear him. Okay, so keep that in the back of your head. His passive 2, at the start of battle, gain crit strike damage increase 2 for 2 turns. And you can take that up to, well, it starts at 1 turn, but you can take that up to 3 turns. Now, in some fights, 3 turns is all you need. Like in an arena fight, that's all you need. But most bosses go way over 3 turns of him. So that'd be like 12 turns, right? If you're talking about the whole team. So, and this game seems to really lightly dish out the crit strike damage increase buffs. But it's there. You get it at the start of battle. You get crit damage increase for 3 turns if it's maxed for him. So he's going to get crit strike rate from P1. He's going to get crit damage. So crit rate from P1, crit damage from P2. But that one's going to wear off, unfortunately. Relics. So you're going to start the game with fire. You're going to use the fire relic. But by the time you get through, I don't know where it was in the story mode, but you are going to get given, I think it's earlier, you're going to get given the Breath of Diana weapon. And this one, you can tell because it's the only one I've leveled up. The wind relic is far superior. You can run him, and you will run him in fire at the beginning, but his wind is superior. Let's just talk about the fire one first, since that's the base relic. So his C3, attack 1 enemy for a decent multiplier of attack. So the baseline attack, that's 26. That's a decent boost in attack. 1 strike. His S2, again, 1 enemy. Not as great multipliers, and you get when it's maxed, 70% chance to stun. Stuns are good. But, just straightforward attack. And then his P1, Attack one enemy 2 times. Total damage equals, a low. That's like 64 when maxed. And you can take this to a 50% chance to gain attack increase. So an attack up. So basically an attack buff for 2 turns. You're mainly going to want to use his S3 based on how powerful it hits. Now, when you're just starting the game, you're probably not going to set skill priorities. You're probably just going to use the highest vigor skill he has, and that's going to work just fine. That's going to work fine at the beginning of the game. Now, once you get the Wind Relic, I would recommend switching to it and starting to use it. And as you get skill ups, put your skill ups for the relics, or your relic skill ups, I should say, put them into the Wind Relic. Don't waste your time with fire. So what does his S3 do? So remember how his fire, it was attack 1 enemy 1 time, right? 1 enemy 1 time. His Wind Relic, attack 1 enemy 3 times. 3 times. It's a multi-hit single target. And actually, it's going to hit way more than 3 times. We'll get to that. So each hit deals additional damage if the target's element is frost. This is going to be handy because wind is strong against frost. So each hit will deal more damage, right? Not a huge amount, another 32, which is basically a multiplier. And you see this thing where the fire, I do believe it was multipliers of 28, 26. The wind has way bigger multipliers. So, and I know relic skill up upgrades are random. You see 2 have already gone into S2. I would like to max this one if able, but is it really needed in this game? No, it's not. Do you need this? No, I rarely use Arthur, but if you wanted to use him, you would want to hope to get everything going into there. So that's his S3. Hit 1 enemy 3 times, do more damage if the enemy is frost. His S2, whereas the fire was, I think it was attack 1 enemy 1 time as well, and stun. His S2 is a non-attack. Grant all allies attack speed or attack increase for 3 turns. And then grant them attack speed increase 2 for 2 turns. And obviously you can beef this up. Level 3, number of attack speed increase turns +1. And level 4 is attack increase turns +1 and attack speed increase +1. So it's going to go to what, 4 and 4? Yeah, 4 and 4 when maxed, which is good. If you're playing it manually, you might want to consider maybe you actually don't want to do that off the start, because remember his P2 gives him that crit strike damage for, I think it's 3 turns when maxed. You obviously don't want to waste one of those turns because you're going to be wasting the crit damage buff by doing his S2, which is going to buff your allies. But you could consider maybe doing an S2 here or there. But if I'm being honest, I don't use it. I usually have him set to S3 and then S1 as his skill priorities. And then this one, attack 1 enemy 2 times, which is the same as his fire. 30% chance to gain attack increase 1, which is an attack up for 2 turns, same as his fire. So basically, his S3 and his S2 are a lot different, or superior, in my opinion, on the wind than the fire. Let's look at frost for the sake of completion. Attack all enemies. So his frost is an AoE with a 50% chance to inflict chill on all enemies, which is a dot, right? What does it do? It gives them attack speed, lowers their attack speed by 5%, and then they chunk 3% of max HP each turn. So different. It's an AoE dot attack. Is his S3. His S2 is, again, an AoE, but attack all enemies 3 times. 20% chance, which you can beef that up a bit, to inflict defense down for 2 turns. Defense down is a powerful debuff in this game. So already I'm going to say that frost is better than fire, but I will still say that it's probably wind is better than frost, which is better than fire, and they start you out in fire. Of course they do. So defense down, which is nice. And then his S1 is the same. Attack 1 enemy 2 times. 30% chance to gain attack increase 1 for 2 turns. So his S1 is the same on all relics. His wind hits way harder on a single enemy. And his frost is an AoE with dot and with some little bit of dot mechanics. So frost and storm or wind and frost are best. I would recommend using wind because he's going to do the additional damage on his S3 against frost enemies, and it's a multi-hit ability, which is, we're going to talk more about that here very quickly. Let's talk about his equipment. So remember that his P1 is basically going to give him 40% crit rate for the entire battle. Because he's going to give him, well, if it's maxed, because he's going to give himself a crit rate increase buff, and then he's going to extend that buff, to 3 turns when maxed. So that said, you really only want to build him up to crit rate of 60%. Otherwise, you're going to overcap your crit rate. After that, after you've capped your crit rate at 60%, then you want to do a bunch of crit damage, because remember, he's going to get that crit damage up buff, and then attack. So as such, you're going to want to run an attack percentage necklace. I don't have another one, otherwise I would run it. I don't think that's one. I didn't get one today. You want to definitely run an attack percentage neck, and then you want to run crit damage earrings, because you're going to run two. You're going to run 2 sets of crit rate. Now, if you want to run 2 sets of crit damage, then you would have to run crit rate earrings. Okay, so kind of like Bedivere, right? Like characters that you kind of gear for these benchmarks, that 60% crit rate. You can either run 2 crit sets and a crit damage earring, or you can run 2 damage sets, which are crit damage sets, and a crit rate earring. So you have a little bit of wiggle room to juggle. So if you run him in 2 crit rate, 1 crit damage, then your earrings are going to be crit damage. You want an attack speed ring because you want him to go over and over and over again. You want to go fast. You don't want effect accuracy. You would want an attack belt, right? Because he's got that huge attack multiplier on his S3. You want to get the most out of that puppy. I don't think I have one, no, which is why I don't have it equipped. I don't use him enough to really be concerned about that. But don't do what I do. Run an attack belt. And then you want hit accuracy on his orb. Why? Because if you're going to run him against harder bosses, then you're going to need hit accuracy. And then his stat priority is going to be, I would say, crit rate up to 60%, then crit damage, then attack percentage / attack speed. No, attack percentage, then attack speed, then attack. Okay? Crit rate to 60%, crit damage, attack percentage, attack speed, attack. Okay, that's his priority. A little bit more hit accuracy won't hurt. But if you want to run, if you are dead set on running that frost relic, so that you can spam his S2 for dots, then you're obviously going to need effect accuracy to land those dots. You don't need any effect accuracy if you're running wind, because he's just about damage. He's not about applying any negative status effects. So as you can see, what do I got? Attack speed, crit rate. Attack speed, attack percentage, crit damage, attack speed, hit accuracy. Oh, not too bad. Crit damage, crit rate, attack, crit damage, attack, crit rate +1. So, cool. All right. Got him there. That's the gear. Now let's talk about his chivalries. This is where it gets a little more interesting. Okay, so chivalries, his C1. This is his P1. Instead of crit rate increase 2, it's crit rate increase 3. We will check in game to see, but I do believe it might be 60%. It might be, but I think it's still 40. So this just makes it from crit rate 2 to crit rate 3 on his P1. Hit accuracy, good. He's going to need it. He's an attacker. This one, duration of buff granted by commanding shout increased by 1 turn. So, increased by 1 turn? Is this even existing on him without his C3? Might not be, because his P1 is just 1 turn. It's 1 turn. Was it 0 before? I think it just adds that to that, which is good, because that allows him to keep the crit rate increase up for the whole fight when maxed. So this one, okay, doesn't blow me away. This one, obviously good, right? Gives him way more crit rate. Or extends his crit rate. Skill 3 damage increases. Okay. So on you saw the multipliers on his S3 in his Wind Relic, right? So it doesn't say what it's increased by, but skill 3 is just going to hit harder. Remember, his Frost is an AoE, his Fire is 1 hit, but his Wind is 1 target, 3 hits. It gets better though. And then his C4 is obviously going to increase that damage on his S3. Attack and effect accuracy. Attack. Defense HP, And then this one right here. This is cool. This is where you can start really like stacking stuff up. Multipliers on multipliers on multipliers. Except it doesn't really matter in the end. So C8 hits 1 additional time when he crit strikes. So let's just say this. So with his Wind Relic, he's going to hit 1 enemy 3 times. If he crits each time, he's going to hit them 6 times. For that huge multiplier attack on his S3. And you're going to start the battle with crit rate or crit rate damage. So crit damage for 2 to 3 turns. So his C8 does make him a lot better. I'm not going to say it's transformational because it's Arthur and he is kind of poo-poo. And then defense, effect accuracy, and then HP and the elemental compatibility. So the things that I would say is this is good. His C4 is really good. His C3 is also good because it gives him the more crit rate, and his C8 is great. It's great for him, I should say. It's not great. It's great for him. So that is Arthur. Let's try to show him off. So one place I know where I can show you where he does good things is Arthur is bull. He's a bull. He's a bull. So I can't do 10 yet, but let's do 9. This is my team for 9. So a lot, we're just gonna worry about Arthur here, okay? So I'm hoping that I still have my auto turned off. I do. Okay, whoa, stop. I don't. Okay. So I'm going to play this to win. But obviously with Gawain, you want to see... we're not going to talk about Gawain. I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to talk about it. So, okay, boom. Now, watch this. This is where we're going to see the power of Arthur. Okay, so you see he does have the crit damage up for 2 turns. That goes to 3 if you max his P2. Let's use his S3. Let's use it on a Frost character. Why? Because on a Frost character, he's going to do additional damage each hit. And if he crits each time, he should hit him 6 times total. So let's see what kind of damage. So notice in the bottom corner how much damage he does to a Frost hero. Boom, boom, boom. Dead. 22,000. 22,000 is damn good damage. I have seen Bedivir's S2 when it procs completely do 24,000 damage. So his S3 is actually really good. Now, since he attacked, let's just see. Did he give himself crit? Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, it's 80%. All right, well that's gonna. So that is awesome. That's gonna change how you want to gear him. You only need 20% crit rate on this guy if you have his C1. So that's going to change his gearing. You can gear him with 3 crit damage sets. Hope you stuck around for 20 minutes because I don't want to hear in the comments, "Oh, actually crit rate 3 is 80% and you really only need 20%." Because I'm saying it now. I didn't realize it was 80. So that means he only needs 20% crit rate to be crit capped. That's cool. That's cool. Okay. What do we want to do with Clementine? I think Morgan's probably our... Let's just use her S1. Why? Because I want to show off Arthur. This is an Arthur video. Don't polymorph him. So we can let's land a debuff. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Don't kill my Arthur. I want to do bad things. So let's do his S3 again. Wham, wham. Okay, so wind on fire, it's decreased 10%. Let's do his S3 again, since he still has the crit damage up buff, and he's got 80%. He's got way too much. He's got freaking 140% crit rate. Let's see if we can kill Morgan. Boom, boom, boom. Yes! So that last little proc without the hit is the additional damage. Wait, shouldn't be additional damage. Additional damage only comes on Frost heroes, so I don't know where that came from. And now let's just do that. Well, let's do that. You see, he still has one crit damage up chance. So let's see if we can't mind control you. Nope, because he doesn't like me. Let's just do an S2. Boom, boom. Gawain, go. Go, Gawain, go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't click anything. Alright, well, let's finish her off with Arthur. Ready, ready, shebang. Boom, boom, boom. 12,000 damage. Why? Because we got that big number of damage against Bedivere. I think it was Bedivere. Or it could have been a Frost. It was a Frost character. We did a lot of damage against a Frost character. So, favorite dungeon, good. That is a little niche, though, knowing that you have to hit a Frost hero. So where are there other Frost heroes? Well, there's one in the equipment dungeon. Origin of Apalia. Now, who would I replace on here? Can I replace Bedivere on this team? I kind of want to try it. But first, I want to change his gear. Because we know that he has that attack or crit rate 3, which is big. So let's go. Sorry if this is taking longer. You guys can jump out if you want. But now we're into testing mode. Now we're into testing where he's good. So we definitely don't need... We can shed almost 40% crit rate, which is basically all of his... I'm not going to have the gold to level up the gear, but obviously we can run basically 3 damage sets. I don't even have enough damage sets to do it. So I don't have boots. And obviously I don't have... Well, what's this? What's this? Nope, don't want that. Yeah, no. So I need to farm some more, but you should definitely re-gear him for 3 damage sets. Right? Because then I'm going to lose 34 crit rate. He's going to drop down to 24, which is more than enough. More than enough. And then he's going to hit way harder because he's going to get another 30% crit strike damage. And yeah. Yep. Let's try the equipment dungeon. Let's try Apalia. I am not... Actually, you know what? Screw it. Let's put him in here. Let's try to run number 10. Let's try to run 10. Now, probably going to go poorly, but this is going to be a good test. This is going to be a test. Let's try to run 3 since the reset is up. Let's make sure we're targeting the boss. And here we go. Let's see how he does. Let's put it to 3 times speed. I don't want to keep you here all day. So he just attacked that whelp. Did decent damage. But obviously no one's dead yet. If I was running Bedivere, the dragon would be dead. See there, he... Wait, I don't know what do I got him in? Do I have him set up? I do have him set up, right? Which means I've tested him here before. So he is level 60. But can he survive this onslaught? I don't think he can. They're just picking on him. Should I have used Turin's big heal there? Yes. Yes, I should have. But it looks like I think we're going to be okay. So that's a confuse. If Eddie brainwashed me, thanks, buddy. This is taking forever. taking forever. Bedivere would have had this done by now. And Arthur's attacking me. That's funny. Boom, boom. Alright. You want to kill him, please? Thank you. About time, buddy. So we made it. This is the longest time I've ever spent on wave 1 of this dungeon. Again, if I was running Bedivere, they'd already be dead. So let's see how he does here now. Can he survive? Can he do okay damage? Everybody in this run is wind, which is what you want. So I want to see, since this is a new wave, let's go look at his buffs. So what does he got? So he's got that big old crit rate up. He does have crit strike damage up. So he does, you know, each wave of a battle counts as a new start of battle. So he would have started with that crit damage for 2 turns. But is it enough? That was actually a decent hit. That was a 20,000 hit on the dragon. I'm not going to call this a free-to-play team because it is a Storm Morgan, and I have Guinevere, right? But it's halfway there. And it does feel like we are kind of doing okay here for... like, that's another 13,000 hit. Like, that's decent. That was actually pretty decent. Yeah, like, that didn't do anything. Why? Because we had shields up from Guinevere. That was only 6,300, but remember now my crit strike damage, or my crit damage buff, is gone. Still 17,000, decent damage. Oh, now he's silenced, we're gonna miss one here. Eh. Oh, that was just his S1. That's all that means. Silence means you can't do the other abilities, you just do your S1. So this is going to hurt because I don't have a shield up. And this is going to hurt more because I don't have a shield up. Boom, boom, boom. What was that? 5,800. Nothing great there. Boom, boom. Now we got shields. Cool. This fight's kind of about shields. That was a 19,000 hit. That was okay. Hey, this isn't how it's supposed to go for me. Whenever I stream something, it always fails miserably. I'm always like, here, you can do this. And then you die, and then I die. So boom, boom, he's dead. That's happily a 10. Alright, battle stats. Ha! Morgan still did... Oh, you can't see it. You can't see it because it's under my head. This is funny, though. Morgan still did more damage than Arthur. Here I was just like... Oh, cool! That was good damage numbers. Morgan AoEing on her S2 still did more damage. That's funny, but that's kind of Arthur, right? That's why I kept saying when I was talking about him, you know, being meh, or like it matters. That's huge, but it really doesn't matter. As you see, it really doesn't matter. Now, keep in mind that my S3 only has one skill up into it. I'm missing a whole bunch of multipliers on my damage, but you know that's still kind of pitiful if I'm being honest. Okay, so there's obviously one place you can use them. Cool. Okay, took forever, but it worked. So if you never got Bedivere, you could do that. And then the other ice dungeon. All right. Let's try that again. I have a bad feeling this is going to take forever, and we're already 30 minutes in. Okay. Let's try it out. I sure hope... I have a feeling this is going to take forever. Because he just... Even with him C10... You know, I guess I'm geared wrong. Actually, that was a decent hit. It took a... What? Like, looks like 8% off him. But he is eventually going to lose that crit damage buff. Like now. That was 12,000 again. It's okay. He's going to start doing his S1 here now, though, too. See, since he's like the squishiest, that's why he's getting picked on by Aldry. 22,000. Like, he's not wholly embarrassing himself. But also keep in mind, this is going to slow down. 24,000. This is going to slow down because Aldry gains more defense with a percentage of HP lost. But actually, we're a third of the way through this guy already. This is not a free-to-play team, though. Again, Turin, great. Akalan, this is his one time to shine. But, yeah, Storm Morgan or Wind Morgan. You know, putting all these defense downs. You know, if it wasn't for Morgan putting defense down on everybody, he wouldn't be hitting for this much. Because here, check this out. Well, he had another one. But he had 80%. Oh, yeah, he does. Right there. 40, negative 40, negative 40. Wind Morgan puts negative 80% defense on enemies. So if you didn't have a hero that was constantly putting that defense down up, or on, inflicting it, your numbers are going to look even worse than what I'm showing you. So I am kind of impressed that we're halfway through this already, but now comes the long haul. Let's see how old Arthur Boy can do. Watch me not land a heal block in this. If that happens, if we don't land a heal block, I'm just going to end the fight. I'm not going to suffer you guys through an extra 5 minutes because my Akalan's screwed up. So, Apollia, he worked. Favorite dungeon, he worked. If you have the Wind Relic, which you will if you play the story mode, you can use him in ice dungeons, but like I said, make sure you bring someone that can apply defense down. Otherwise, you're gonna be like, hey, Dylar, he's only hitting for like 8,000. What the hell? That's why. Okay, we landed it. So now he's, you know, there's a lot of defense down. 20 grand. 20 grand. That's not huge numbers, but for a rare, I'm 22 grand. I'm actually kind of more impressed with Arthur. Kind of more impressed. So there's that crit strike or crit rate increase. So he's got that increase by 80%. I'm definitely going to re-gear him after I make this video, because with more crit damage, he's going to hit a lot harder. He's going to hit a lot harder. And I'm going to try to put more skill ups into him and get some more into that S3. Because I'd like to actually do this video again, kinda. Maybe just Aldry and Apollia once he's more beefy. Alright, well this didn't take long at all. It was like 3.5 minutes. Aldry 10, guys. I don't know what to say. The streamer gods are shining down upon me. That was actually... Oh, I didn't go to... He would have done better there, I promise. But yeah, that's actually probably the best showcase of Arthur that I can give you. That was kind of cool. So let's go to him again. So if you made to the end of this video, I'm gonna ask you, the code word of the day is gonna be a phrase. Hail to the king, baby. I think that's an Evil Dead reference. Wasn't it? Tell me below. But yeah, the word of the day, the safe word of the day is going to be hail to the king, baby. Hail to the king. There's 5 words. 5 words of the day. So I'm actually more impressed with Arthur now than I was when I hit the record button. Decent. So if you guys need, I will try to remember to update the spreadsheet for gearing him. Because yes, I didn't fully know his kit before I made that, so I got to update that. So hail to the king, baby, down in the comment section below. Click on all the links. Thank you if you're a supporter on the Netmarble Content Creator Program. I love you. I will catch you in the next one, guys. I'm actually, I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually kind of impressed with him. I was giving him such shit throughout the whole video, and then he just was like, okay, we'll clear that level 10. Okay, we'll clear that level 10. Okay, screw you, Dylar. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers, peace. Bye-bye.